How's it going, boys? It's me, your favorite snake oils merchant. So today we're going to be talking about predatory microtransactions, why some games fail, why some games don't try to fix themselves, but instead try to milk the player base as it is. We all know that there are a lot of games that could have potentially fixed a couple of things, and they would most likely be successful, or at least last longer and have longer audience retention. Well, that's where brutal capitalism comes in. And mostly we're going to be focusing on today is going to be the business side of the gaming industry, which will not 100% be like I say, because every company is going to be a little bit different. But the main focus is going to be the finance department of pretty much every company. So, here is the baseline that some people don't understand. The people who work at finance, the people in the fancy suits and the cool hats, who know how to divide two numbers and subtract 0 to make a percentage, those are the people who have a lot of influence when any shot is being done. And, in a lot of cases, those people don't even know what the fuck their company is selling. I can bet money on the fact that there are companies that have finance and they do games, and the people at finance don't even know what gaming really is. They don't understand it because they don't do it. Why? Well, because the people at finance only need to understand numbers. Is this percentile good or bad? They have not, and probably will not have in most situations, a grasp about a product that they're actually selling and what could possibly make it actually good. Their main job is to understand numbers. And when it comes to the finance department of pretty much almost any corporation, any business or whatever, if they have a specific dedicated finance department, well, then the story essentially goes like this. It doesn't matter if your department is doing good. It doesn't matter if your department is reaching the monthly, yearly KPIs of the game product in terms of sell values or whatever. If the finance department says, yeah, you should probably do more, well, it doesn't matter how successful your game is, you're gonna fucking have to do more. That's the goddamn reality of the finance department, the people who analyze that shit. If they say this number needs to be 3% better, because next year we expect more, oh boys, then you can expect that number is gonna be better. And when it comes to creating a budget for the next year, first of all, in a normal situation, when a company is not doing horribly, the budget will never be lower than the previous year's budget. It's going to be a percent X higher based on expectations, based on future plans, based on values, and all that good stuff that doesn't actually make a single shit of a difference. When the budget is done, when the people from finance say, yeah, we're happy that you made like the budget is up 5% from previous year. We're happy when the budget is like 10% up from previous year. That's fine. But you know what that means for that department? They already had to put in a higher number than they wanted to. And guess what? The KPI of every year's budget most likely determines their yearly bonuses. And what happens when you're a game developer and, well, you love your game, but the question is, do you love your game more than your yearly bonus? Well, that's an entirely different question. And this is where things get extremely, extremely not nice. You see, in my opinion, most game developers love their games. If they have put years into developing it, then they most likely want to see it thrive and succeed. But when you're forced to fill out the KPI for the budget, which is 5% higher than previously, and the game's getting a little bit older, people are going away, you need to hit a huge content update to make it happen. Well, then problems start to arise. Also, not only is there a sales KPI most of the time, there's a spending budget. Oh yes, You need to figure out what you can make around a spending budget that will not go overboard, that will not make the higher ups hate you because, well, you just wasted too much fucking money, and the suits with the fancy hats and ties at finance said, yeah, this does not exactly look good. They are 20% over budget, and that's gonna cut in by 10% in what they are supposed to get. Oh, yeah, that's not gonna probably go good with the investors if they figure that one out. So, again, problems. Essentially, if you're a game developer, sure, you most likely know what's wrong with your game to a degree if you're semi-competent or whatever. But the point is, financially, all your decisions are complete fucking garbage. Oh yes, you know that potentially creating this update, fixing that issues, opening a new server will alleviate so much negativity from your game. You know all that. But the problem is, the people at finance literally are looking at this and saying, yeah, that's expensive and risky, but this skin and booster pack and loot box and everything in between and in the middle of those predatory things, now that fucking generates cahool like there's no tomorrow. And guess what? Even if you are earning way more than expected, even if you are doing all of that without trouble, you know what? Well, the company probably does not want to expend more money than necessary when you're already earning good. If you're earning good, and it's a publicly traded company, guess fucking what? That's good enough. There's no need to rush all of the good things. No. A thing like hype exists nowadays, and we can take full advantage of that stuff. So, if you have something good planned, don't rush it. Hype it out. Here, introduce this loot box first, and then see what happens. Oh boys, it's a brutal world. Where making a skin and milking the people that are there is a lot more easier and well, safer for one, because the first thing you need is risk calculation. After risk calculation literally comes everything else. Now, I'm not saying all companies are like that, obviously. Hell, some companies may not even have financing to that degree. Hell, some companies have a huge finance department, which every kind of product has their own analyst attached to it. That is possible. And again, it's possible that that analyst has not even seen the game he's actually trying to figure out shit for. But in reality, the point is, even though it seems fucking scummy and dodgy, let's be real here for a moment, the analysts are gonna be right most of the time. The analysts are gonna be right most of the time when it comes to actually making good for the company. Because taking a risk, like improving your things, spending huge amounts of cash, when you see that you are, well, barely breaking even, that the game is not doing as well as expected, when the marketing budget has been exceeded by a couple of fucking million, when everything is not going as great, you know, there's not exactly many sane people who will say, yeah, sure, let's just spend all this money on X. You know, it's not like our jobs depend on getting an actual profit here. And that's where the shitty part becomes even the more shittier part. Because you need to understand, at the end of the day, maybe those people like the game, maybe those people really love the game that they have made. I'm pretty sure those people also want to have a job. I'm pretty sure those people also want to have this and that and this. Now, I'm not saying this justifies things like predatory microtransactions or loot boxes or literally content that should have been in the game already at the start, being logged behind a $20 paywall at the minimum. Big companies can obviously take the risk, but they don't want to. Why? Because people are already hooked on things like loot boxes. It's become a norm in reality. So, even if your company is doing good, there's no reason to risk. Unless you have put in a boatload of cash into a game, into an IP or something, it is hard. It is really hard to sell the idea of a complete restructuring of the game just from a purely financial point of view. It's gonna cost you. Your PR is already in the goddamn fucking dumpster because the game is garbage. And now you are supposed to risk more money on something that may not work. It's just not gonna happen. And it's sad. Admittedly, we have some examples. The best example, I believe, is Rust. They started as X, they moved along, and people said that they don't like X. And they completely did a 360 and changed the way that they work. Now, admittedly, that's dedication. That is complete faith in the concept that your product is not gonna be trash and people are gonna like it and it's gonna make money. The people who made the game probably were extremely happy about the fact that they could make the changes, that they maybe were forced to make the changes. But you can bet at every single step of the way, the people at finance were like, boys, this is far too risky and unlucrative. That's the reality of it. Even if you have a game that has potential, that potential is really hard to execute because just from a monetary standpoint, the finances are gonna say, yeah, fuck you, better just implement that skin. Like the 10 people that are left maybe will buy it. Well, most likely they will buy it because only the most die-hard crowd is left alive at the end of a game's life cycle, and they can be milked for a decent amount of ka-ching. Yeah, that's completely normal. Well, anyway, that's pretty much it. It's pretty brutal, honestly, if you think about it. And this is, of course, not gonna be the same for everyone. Someone's probably watching this video and working in, like, I don't know, EA or something and saying, oh, that's not how we do things. That is not how I have heard it. Shut the fuck up. It's not the same for everyone. It's gonna be different for some people. The baseline is gonna be there, though. A person in a fancy suit and tie who divides two numbers said, nah, this is not lucrative. This is a bust. Anyway, so this was Quasar Sensen. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Check out the channel. Check out Discord. Check out the Patreon. Check out everything and have a nice day. Bye-bye.